residency, with public facilities such as shopping malls, hotels, and hospitals. Universitas Sujeng Hartono, USH, is located in Sukoharjo Regency, specifically in an area known locally as Solobar. It is a modern area of the Surakarta residency, with public facilities such as shopping malls, hotels, and hospitals. It has a grand vision to provide higher education with international standards and a leader in entrepreneurship. USH thrives with a global spirit, making education the foundation for nation building. A global spirit shapes every step of the USH academic community, with lectures conducted in English and Mandarin, courses integrated into all study programs, preparing students for careers across borders and cultures. Every new student completes a one-month compulsory English matriculation program to build readiness for international standard lectures. Through our English Friday and sustained Mandarin instruction up to the 6th semester with a target of HSK Level 3, students graduate trilingual and job-ready. At USH, learning goes beyond theory. Each study program uses project-based learning in interactive classrooms and modern studios, so that projects, research, and collaboration become real-world preparation. Our campus is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, from a welcoming lobby and spacious digital library to professional nutrition and culinary labs, a moot court, high-tech IT laboratories, an auditorium for international seminars, modern cafeteria, and comprehensive sports facilities. All of this supports student practice, creativity, and achievement. USH maintains close partnerships with leading sister companies, giving students internships and industrial experience that bridge the classroom and the workplace, turning knowledge into practical competence. Our students shine in competitions at national and international levels, evidence of their creativity and competence. Come and join us here at USH, building the nation through education. Universitas Sujeng Hartono, USH, is located in Sukoharjo Regency, specifically in an area known locally as Solobar. It is a modern area of the Surakarta residency, with public facilities such as shopping malls, hotels, and hospitals. It has a grand vision to provide higher education with international standards and a leader in entrepreneurship. USH thrives with a global spirit, making education the foundation for nation building. A global spirit shapes every step of the USH academic community, with lectures conducted in English and Mandarin, courses integrated into all study programs, preparing students for careers across borders and cultures. Every new student completes a one-month compulsory English matriculation program to build readiness for international standard lectures. Through our English Friday and sustained Mandarin instruction up to the 6th semester with a target of HSK Level 3, students graduate trilingual and job-ready. At USH, learning goes beyond theory. Each study program uses project-based learning in interactive classrooms and modern studios, so that projects, research, and collaboration become real-world preparation. Our campus is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, from a welcoming lobby and spacious digital library to professional nutrition and culinary labs, a moot court, high-tech IT laboratories, an auditorium for international seminars, modern cafeteria, and comprehensive sports facilities. All of this supports student practice, creativity, and achievement. USH maintains close partnerships with leading sister companies, giving students internships and industrial experience that bridge the classroom and the workplace, turning knowledge into practical competence. Our students shine in competitions at national and international levels, evidence of their creativity and competence. Come and join us here at USH, building the nation through education. Universitas Sujeng Hartono, USH, is located in Sukoharjo Regency, specifically in an area known locally as Solobar. It is a modern area of the Surakarta residency, with public facilities such as shopping malls, hotels, and hospitals. It has a grand vision to provide higher education with international standards and a leader in entrepreneurship. USH thrives with a global spirit, making education the foundation for nation building. A global spirit shapes every step of the USH academic community, with lectures conducted in English and Mandarin courses integrated into all study programs, preparing students for careers across borders and cultures. Every new student completes a one-month compulsory English matriculation program to build readiness for international standard lectures. Through our English Friday and sustained Mandarin instruction up to the 6th semester with a target of HSK Level 3. Students graduate trilingual and job-ready. At USH, learning goes beyond theory. Each study program uses project-based learning in interactive classrooms and modern studios, so that projects, research, and collaboration become real-world preparation. Our campus is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, from a welcoming lobby and spacious digital library to professional nutrition and culinary labs, a moot court, high-tech IT laboratories, an auditorium for international seminars, modern cafeteria, and comprehensive sports facilities. All of this supports student practice, creativity, and achievement. USH maintains close partnerships with leading sister companies, giving students internships and industrial experience that bridge the classroom and the workplace, turning knowledge into practical competence. Our students shine in competitions at national and international levels, evidence of their creativity and competence. Come and join us here at USH, building the nation through education.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Salam Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, dan salam kebajikan. A very good afternoon to all distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and participants who have registered for this webinar and are joining us from across Indonesia and abroad. It is my honor to welcome you to today's international webinar, proudly hosted by Universitas Sugeng Hartono. Before we proceed, allow me a brief icebreaker. After all, no great webinar should begin with a frozen screen or a frozen audience. A light observation from the world of product development. Those who work in product testing are often the happiest people in the food industry. They get to taste success, quote unquote, every day. I hope that today we will all have the opportunity to taste success, quote unquote, through the insights shared in these sessions. On behalf of the organizing committee, I wish to convey our sincere appreciations to the university leadership whose support makes this academic forum possible. First and foremost, Mr. Associate Professor Jacob Beran as the Rector of Universitas Sugeng Hartono, Miss Fitria Hayu Palupi as the first Vice Rector, Mr. Ahmad Aufaribi as the second Vice Rector, Miss Junior Senowening as the head of the Undergraduate Nutrition Study Program, Mr. Joshua Christmas Nathaniel L. as the head of the Undergraduate Food Technology Study Program. We extend our deepest gratitude for their guidance and steadfast commitment to academic excellence. Before we proceed with the program, I invite all participants, if you're able, to stand for national anthem of the Republic of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Following the anthem, we will also listen to the official march of Universitas Sugeng Hartono. Let us observe both with respect and appreciation.
Perguruan Tinggi Sugeng Hartono mengembangkan ilmu dan teknologi dalam menggapai cita dan asa berbakti untuk negara tercinta. Perguruan Tinggi Sugeng Hartono wujudkan tridharma perguruan tinggi. Disinilah aku ditempa berkarya mengemban tugas mulia. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri menjadi pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri, itulah jiwa dan nilai kami untuk masa depan yang gemilang. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri menjadi pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi. Adaptif, kreatif dan mandiri, itulah jiwa dan nilai kami untuk masa depan yang gemilang. Engkaulah alma materku tercinta, kebanggaan untuk selamanya.
Thank you, everybody. You may now be seated. It is my pleasure to invite the Rector of Universitas Sugeng Hartono, Professor Jacob Deran, to deliver his opening remarks. Professor Deran, the screen is now yours.
Thank you, Mr. Adi. Also, thanks to all organizing committee members, Pak Joshua and the team. Welcome, Mr. He Wenswok. He's a food technologist from FEA Melbourne, Australia. It is a great honor having you with us. Also, greetings to all participants from various parts of Indonesia. We have participants from Jombang, Salatiga, Pontianak, and Jakarta. Our participants also come from food industry and financial sector, especially Mayora and Bank BRI. So welcome all. For today's topic, I'm sure it will be very useful for all of us. Thank you very much for sharing with us again, Mr. He Wenswo. Hope we can collaborate again in the future and see you all again in our future webinars. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Deran, for your inspiring words and for officially opening today's webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the central segment of today's program. Our theme, motivations that drive market change in the food industry and how they impact food product development, speak directly to current industry dynamics and academic inquiry alike. It is my privilege to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Hewen Swap, a food technologist based in Melbourne, Australia. Mr. He holds a master's degree in food science and agribusiness from Monash University and currently serves as the Food Entrepreneurship Academy, where he works at the nexus of innovation, market intelligence, and applied product development. His expertise encompasses emerging consumer trends, sustainability-driven product strategies, and the entrepreneurial translation of scientific insight into marketable solutions. We are truly honored to have him with us today. Without further delay, I invite Mr. He Wenswok to deliver his keynote presentation. Mr. He, the screen is now yours.
Thank you, Ms. Audi, for moderating this webinar. And once again, I want to thank you, Associate Professor Jacob Captain, for inviting me as a
You're welcome.
guest speaker. Let me share my screen and maybe quickly introduce myself again. Is that all right?
Sure.
So I hope that everyone get to see my screen. All right. Today's topic is motivations that drive market change in food industry and how they impact food product development. So hi everyone, I'm Ki Wen So, and in 2019 I graduated from Taylor's University Bachelor in Science Culinology. So in this course I learned about food science, nutrition, microbiology and stuff. On top of that, I learned how to cook, like French cuisine, Asian cuisine, and pastry. I also learned how to manage the product safety as well as the business perspective of the food industry. So in 2018, I went to Kentucky, USA to participate in the RCA student competition. So my team developed a Kentucky-inspired quick serve food items and win the champion. In 2020 to 2022, I'm a food technologist in Binaco Resources in Malaysia. It's the biggest coconut manufacturing company in Malaysia. And I developed a nasi lemak premix Chinese herb soup pouch, as well as a Japanese teriyaki sauce. So in 2024, I graduated from Monash University, Master in Food Science and Agribusiness. I further learned about the relationship between nutrition and health, the supply chain, sustainability aspect of food production, as well as retail design. So let's go straight into our topic today. Oh, sorry. Currently, I'm a food technologist and FEA food innovation, and I specialize in high protein, ready to drink beverage, alternative milk like oat milk and soy milk, matcha latte, and flavored dairy. So basically, I process all kind of beverage except alcohol. So we all know that the market is really determined by the demand of the consumer. What consumer want, we provide. That's how we make money. But the problem is, do the consumer know what they want? Do you know what you want in a product? So Steve Jobs once said, a lot of times, people don't know what they want until you show them. So as a successful food entrepreneur, you need to know what they want before they know what they want. So today we're going to dive deeper into potentially what they really want. So the first thing is definitely health benefits. People nowadays are looking for healthier options, but the problem is, what do you, how do you define a healthy product? It's very confusing in the market. For example, when it comes to sweeteners, anything that makes you sweet, including sugar, raw sugar, syrup, sweeteners, it's very confusing. Some of them tell me, no, I don't want nasty additive. So, regular sugar is fine. So the nasty additive could be sucralose, could be aspartame, those synthetic sweeteners. However, there's another group of people saying, oh, I don't want sugar, it gives me too much energy. So I want artificial sweetener. Another group of people say no artificial sweetener. Natural sweetener like stevia is definitely a healthier option. Then there's last group of people say, oh, I don't want refined sugar. So any raw sugar, brown sugar, palm sugar is fine. So it's very confusing, isn't it? When I deal with my customer, they give me different experts and I need to agree with them all the time. So when it comes to protein, where I work a lot with, so someone said I want high protein, maybe in a serve of 500 ml, I want 30 grams of protein. Then there are people coming out and say, I want the most concentrated protein in the market. I want 300, 30 grams of protein, 300 ml. It's very concentrated in beverage industry. Some say, no, dairy protein is not good. I want plant protein. But there's another group of people saying soy protein disturb hormones balance. So I don't want that as well. So how do you define a healthy product? It really depends. Uh, I don't have an answer for you. I just agree. Yeah, whatever you say is probably right. So here's some emerging health trend going on in Australia. The first one is prebiotic for gut health. So they say gut health is everything. Your microbes in your intestine, it stimulate your hormones, mood, and everything. L-theanine, on the other hand, is a single particular amino acid that they say is very related to your calmness. If you drink matcha, you get enough L-theanine and you will be relaxed. So modern diet, another one, modern diet pattern for well-being. I'm not sure, have you ever heard of keto diet? They cut off carbohydrate totally and just have vegetables, protein, and fat in their diet. They say it helps, especially in the people going to gym, the muscle builder, they are more prone to this kind of diet, believing that it's good for their health. Last is chronic inflammation is a big topic. It is like when you feel stressed, actually your body responds. There will be a lot of pain where it comes from nowhere. It's probably chronic inflammation. and antioxidant is the cure. And I have to deal with this kind of topic day in and day out. But does it really tell what is healthy? How people know all this information? We're going to deep deeper into the channel of getting those health relevant information. The first one is, I'll call it amplifier. So nowadays we spend a lot of time on our handphones, right? Doom scrolling, all the reels, or watching YouTube. That's where this information kicks in. So the food manufacturer will put on advertisement or invite celebrities to have a testimonial of their product. Now, something even worse is the quote expert and doctor. They just have a white robe and say, I'm a doctor, I'm an expert, you should listen to me. This particular chemical compound is good for your health. Some of them even is made by AI. They are not real people. But obviously, among the elderly, is pretty useful method to advertise certain information. On top of that, the more convincing way to pass the information is word of mouth. So the real doctor and expert, where you pay money for, will give you the right information because they are responsible to what they say. Besides, your friends and family will probably have a good influence over your decision making. If they say, recently I've been drinking matcha, then you're prone to try it, and it becomes sometimes a community, a trend that behaves similarly, which means you buy the similar product. But the most convincing way is always self-study, where you do your own research on how this health trend works. But most of the time, what we get is we first learn from generative AI. I believe like 90% of you has been using ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot and stuff. I'm not sure if you ever asked question like, is this chemical compound good for me? But I have deal with a customer that use this generative AI and trust it with all his heart. To the point, when we give our opinion, he'll say, but this generative AI say this, so I doubt that what you say is true. But we are the professional, right? It's quite ridiculous. Other ways, including web search and read blogs. It takes time for you to read through everything and potentially prove that it is wrong, right from different aspects. But the most accurate way to get the right information is actually read a journal article published by legit scientists. So this is how an evidence-based journal article looks like. You will have the title followed by the authors and the extract. So this is advantage and disadvantage of ketogenic diet, review article. So this is a compilation of different articles and try to draw a conclusion based on what have been published. So reading this kind of article is definitely going to help you to understand a lot of details in this topic. But there's a problem. This article that get published needs money. So who fund for them matter. Let's look at these three funding statements. The first one is from Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation Malaysia. So it's a non-profit organization that provide fund for scientists for the sake of knowing the truth, I would say. The second one is provided by HCA. HCA is a profit company, healthcare company, and they do this also to learn. And you can see they say do not necessarily represent the official views of HCA. So they provide funds for the scientists to carry out a legit research without any bias. So they are out from the picture. The last one, you can say the authors declared that financial support was received from the research and or publication of this article. So these authors never disclose who is supporting them. It's quite fishy, isn't it? It could be for certain food company that want to promote their product. So this particular journal article I get is from it's talk about artificial sweeteners, how they regulate your blood sugar and stuff. And you can see it's probably sponsored by those companies to promote the artificial sweeteners, right? My point is, nowadays, not every journal article has the same credibility. Some of them is for the business. We need to be careful when we read these articles. So here comes the case study, right? In 1950, the American scientists realized that there's a trend in, so people are getting like heart disease, and they try to figure out why. The sugar industry, they fund for the scientists to carry out the experiment in oil. So they blame all the oil for causing the heart disease, so that the media will focus on oil instead of sugar. But now today, we know that sugar is also one of the cause that lead to heart disease. This is the tricky part. So sugar industry pay money to attack another industry. And I believe it happens, still happens nowadays, and we need to be careful. So it is hard to tell really what is right, what is wrong. It's very confusing. So because of this, our customer really wants something that's fit for consumption. For 50 years, we don't know that sugar is bad for us, but now we know, and we want something that is good for us. But we don't know what we want. To be honest, when it comes to food product, the safety aspect of food product, we don't really know much because the food industry don't disclose a lot unless you are part of them. So what does it mean for fit for consumption? The first one is definitely free from pathogen. You definitely don't want to get a diarrhea after eating a food product. And second is free from toxic chemical. You know, in peanut, there's a very common chemical called aflatoxin. It's produced by a mole and is cannot be removed. You can't heat it and remove it. It will stay and it will attack your liver if you have it. Last one is free from unclaimed substances. For example, the allergens. So if there's gluten but you didn't claim it, it will cause a life, maybe. And also for religion consideration, such as halal. So if there's any alcohol or pork in the product that's not being claimed, is not really acceptable. I'm not sure if you ever saw this logo. The first one is accept. HACCP stands for hazard analysis and critical control point. The second one is GMP, good manufacture practice, and the third one is FSSC 2200. So this is a food certification. It means that the entire manufacturing process follows certain rules to make sure it is free from what we have here, the pathogens, toxic chemicals, and unclaimed substances. The problem is how many of you actually looks for this logo when you make a purchase. Please show a hand if you could, although I can't see it anyway. But this logo is how should I phrase it? This logo doesn't make this product superior anymore. It is more like a default. We think that every manufacturer should have do this for our sake. But our sake is really underappreciated nowadays. So what does it mean to have this HACCP, GMP, and FFSC on the packaging? It means the factory layout is properly designed. Your food storage is different from your chemical storage. It's different from your manufacturing site. And also the equipment material, the pellet that you use, nowadays they are gradually switching to rubber or plastic pellet instead of using the wooden pellet, because the wooden pellet, if it gets damp, it will have mold on it. And most of the equipment is stainless steel because it's easier to sanitize it. And also the staff training, there's a lot of safety training that need to be carried out for every staff in the manufacturing plant to make sure they follow the rules, including wash hand before entering, wear your glove and hairnet, and stuff like that. The handling and storage is properly taken care of. You don't need to worry about things like cross-contamination of allergens because they're sanitized every single time after the production. And lastly is the management effort they need to put in, including pest control. Every plant that has those logos, they need to set up traps, fly traps, rat traps, in the designated location to minimize pests. So those are the management efforts. Every single things that I mentioned here require money and is a cost that it will eventually add up to your final product. So I'll say the food safety aspect, consumer take it for granted, but it's a cost for a lot for the manufacturer. They want it to be safe, but they don't understand what is behind. And if you want to set up a food company, you need to take care of this. What if you don't take care of this? This is what happens. It's called food recall. It's quite recently, I just get a screenshot from the Australia website, official website. So the first one, you can see the recall is due to the presence of foreign matter, plastic. Then they need to recall the entire batch from the entire world. It's probably, I would say this is probably an imported product. So it's a lot of cost. It's a loss for the company, right? The second one is the presence of undeclared allergen in milk. So it causes a lot of problems. Need to be recalled. So beyond food safety, actually your customer wants more than that. They might want halal or vegan because of the religion concern, or they care about the climate change issue, animal right issue. Then they want organic certificate and things like that. So these are the so-called others certification that beyond food safety. including the halal, the organic, vegan, the non-GMO, as well as the rainforest alias. It's pretty new. This one is pretty new, and it's very commonly found in palm oil industry. So the European Union, they want this logo on the packaging, especially for products from Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia. We use a lot of palm oil, right? And they want to make sure that the rainforest isn't being cut down too much. That's why they request for this logo. The third one is price. Nowadays, we don't call ourselves cheap, but instead price sensitive consumer. Right? We all have a budget and we know that very well. How much should I spend on a particular food product? But the problem is we can't always follow them, right? They might want it as low as possible, but there's cost. There's cost that we need to bear and we want to make money as well. So let's look into how to balance the cost and the price. I'm not sure if you are familiar with this this term called inflation, where things are getting more and more expensive nowadays. You're buying the same thing with more money. So recently I have noticed that how they play this game, right? On the supermarket website, I'm always checking on how that price goes. So initially it starts from 22 Australian dollar per kg, let's say. So suddenly there's a promotion week. The price dropped to like $18 for that week. But after that, it goes to 27. It's a huge leap of price. And that's how they play it. They give you a promotion that you feel that, oh, it's cheaper. But when it recover to the normal price, it actually increase the price secretly without you knowing it. And there's another term called shrinkflation. Customers are buying less things with the same price because we have a price in our heart. We have a budget in our heart. I'm not going to spend more than $3 on my chips. So that's why the food manufacturer come up with a way to silently reduce the amount they're going to sell. The most common way is like new look, but same bold flavor. So they're rebranding, they change their logo and stuff and change their packaging and advertise as a new look. But the package is actually getting smaller and smaller. But consumer won't really feel it because it's still within my budget. I'm still going to buy it anyway. But this is how manufacturers save a lot of money. Here's a breakdown of where the cost come from. The first is the material cost, the raw material. If you're going to make a milk product, you need to buy milk, you need to buy sugar, you need to buy all the gums, and the packaging. Usually we use let's say Tetra Pak. Those packaging also cost, and the better the quality, the more expensive it is. But it is a really important factor when it comes to shelf life. Now I have to deal with protein bars packaging that the thickness is slightly different. You can feel it from touching it, and we get to deal with this case because we received a complaint on the product have a year taste before it expired, and we found out that it's a packaging thickness that playing an important role in shelf life. Last thing is the quality and the grading. Not every sugar is having the same price, right? Some sugar is purer, some sugar has some impurity, some sugar is finer, some sugar is coarser, and the price is different. So this is the quality that you need to pay for. Besides the utility costs, including the labor, the energy, such as your fuel and electricity, the maintenance cost, the administration cost. The administration cost, what I mean is the certification. If you want to apply for your halal certification or organic certification, you need to fill out some form. You need to submit it to the certification body, and you need to pay them to get certified. And lastly, the rental and equipment cost. So these are the utility costs, what we also call the operation cost, that is being added up to the final product. Lastly is the retail cost, the logistic cost. If you are exporting your product to other country, you need money to send the product over to overseas, right? Then the selling price won't be cheaper than what you have locally. Secondly, the product position. Is it a premium product? It is a normal product for everyday use. It really determines your final price. And also, product position means where you place your product on the shelf. So in Coles and Woolies, the supermarket here, if you want to place your product at the eye level of your customer, which we call a prime spot, you need to pay extra for them to put the product there. But there's a special case. It's the cereal designed for children. They won't ask for that prime spot. They want to place it at the bottom of the rack. Do you know why? It's because their target consumer is children, and children is not going to reach that spot. They're going to look at the bottom. Once they saw the toys and cartoons on the packaging, they'll start crying and shouting, begging for their parents to buy for them. So this is how product position works, and it really matters in the marketing, right? The third one is retail channel. As I say, if you want to put your product on certain supermarket shelf, you need to pay them. But if you have a online store, you don't need to pay for them, but you need to set up your own web page, and that's another cost, right? But eventually it will be cheaper, I believe, in long term. The problem is your website is not going to reach the same people entering the supermarket. It's two different groups. So it depends on which group of people they want to reach out to. Lastly is the profit margin. I wouldn't say it's a cost, but this where you're going to make money. And its typical range is 30 to 200%. It depends on what you sell. But it's really important for business to make money. You're not doing charity. You need to make money to sustain the business and potentially to expand further. So here's the cost. You need to sum up all these costs and to see, does it match consumer demand? If the cost is too high, you think the consumer is not going to buy it, forget about it. Think of another idea that will work for you and for the consumer. But above all this, it really boils down to the experience. The experience, I would say, I don't know what I know. So people already have a sense of what am I going to buy, but they can't really list a very complete criteria for you. Because human is a very emotional living being. We make decisions based on how we feel most of the time, but not how we think. So there's a saying say, you are what you eat. What does it mean? So if a consumer buys a healthy product, they are looking for the health benefits for a good body. So they want to present themselves as a healthy person. If they're after the halal certification or organic certification, they want to present themselves as a person with good moral. And nowadays people don't really go for cheap, the cheapest possible food you can get. They want something that's value for money, that they feel like it is worth it instead of it's cheap. So eventually it's about how the product fits your lifestyle and how does it make you feel. It made me think of the young generation now today. They'll say after a hard work, after an exam, I deserve it. And I don't care if I have the money for that. I'm going to overspend for a luxurious ice cream after the hard work to comfort myself. So you can see this, how people are switching, maybe occasionally to premium product, even though they are not really the target consumer, because the the feeling that the product gives them makes them feel good. So it points out to the last point, your purchase project your identity. If you're buying a premium stuff, it makes you feel like you're a premium person. And that matter. And decide how you design your packaging, the color, the shape and everything, the curve, the straight line. It also send a lot of message of how they fit their identity. But I'm not a design expert, so I'm not going to talk about the detail of this. So how does it impact the food product development? The first is ingredient selection. You need to be careful. If there's any allergens, we need to claim it. If they want halal certified product, we need to have the halal certification of all the ingredients except water, maybe uh, in our file to prove that it's halal certified. So there's two particular documents that we're looking into when we select the ingredient. The first one on the top is product specification. Is how it looks like. It tells the physical parameter like match size, the color, the foam of this particular ingredient, and also chemical properties, maybe the pH value and the standard gravity and all that, and how they test this particular material. It's more like a safety sheet uh, to prove that there's no hazard in the product. The second document is called product information form. This, I think, is only in Australia. It's not in other countries because the Australian government standardized this form that every business that want to sell material need to fill out this form for the goods they sell. So it tells us what's the nutrition value, is there any allergen present, is it vegan certified, halal certified, and how you should label it. For example, this product is called mermaid iodized superfine salt. But you're not going to put this on your ingredient list, right? You're going to put salt or sea salt. So they'll have instructions on how to label this particular ingredient properly. And also we need to take care of the formulation. Let's say our customer don't want to have sugar added, then we'll make sure there's no sugar added. If it's low in fat, what does it mean low in fat? It means maybe like 99.9% fat free. That means we can tolerate 0.01% fat in the product. We need to take care of the costing. Right? Just now I say, if the cost is too high, it's not going to work, then just forget about it. So I deal a lot with costing. Sometimes at the end of the development, where I settle all the formulation, they say, it's a bit too expensive. I want larger margin, profit margin for my product. Is it possible you can cut the cost here and there? So I need to reformulate to make sure it's a profitable product which still fall under consumer's budget. Last thing is the accurate nutritional value calculation. So when you flip your product, let's say this product, you flick it back, you'll see like the energy content, protein content, fat content. Some of them you can test it out, you can send to a lab and test, but most of the time for me is through the calculation. So we'll gather the information from the product information form, the nutritional value, compile it in a file, and calculate accordingly to know what's the protein content, the carb content and stuff. So if the consumers want a high protein, like 30 gram in 300 ml, I need to make sure it hits and slightly over the requirement. And other than that, it's a processing that matter. We need to visit the manufacturer, understand their equipment and technology available. So some of them might have a canning equipment, but they don't have a report. So they need to can their equipment and send it to somewhere else to heat it up, to stir out the product. We need to have those in mind. Some of them has an equipment called homogenizer, but some do not. Then when we develop the product, we need to follow the process as close as possible so that when we scale out, it really can match what we have in the lab. So also the minimum order quantity MOQ is an industrial term where it's the minimum amount you need to order per production. So if you are going to do a UHT product, it might start from 1 ton of the liquid. But if you're going to canning, it's maybe just 100 kg minimum. So the business owner need to determine what's my capacity. Where am I going to sell? Is it export? Is it import? Am I going to sell it across all Indonesia or just maybe Jakarta? And it will determine which process, which manufacturer you choose. And lastly is the certification. Is this processing plant halal certified? If it's not, then even though all your ingredient is halal certified, they can't produce halal product here, right? Because there's a chance of cross-contamination where the line that has maybe produced alcohol before will mix with your halal product. Then that's not working. So we need to pick and choose the manufacturer that we're working with. And lastly, to the consumer side, we're going to communicate with the consumer through the label. So what they see on the package is what the information they will get. And that's where they build their impression towards the brand and their loyalty towards the product. So as you can see here, there's a lot of information in it, like gluten-free, low-carb, high-protein wrap, contains 11 grams of protein per wrap, and things like that. This let the consumer know what they are getting from the product, especially the health benefits of it. All this is a proper nutrients content claim, meaning that it's regulated under the Australian government. You need to meet certain criteria to put this word on your packaging, or else it will be illegal. And also you can see there's a health star rating on the right side of the packaging. There's a 5-star over there to let you know it's a healthy product. It's also need to meet certain criteria to meet to make certain claims like that. But there's another case. I'm working with matcha a lot, and this is not the matcha that I work with, and I try not to disclose what's the brand. But you can see the claim over here, the one in the red brand. It says improve focus and clarity, boost your metabolism, natural energy boost. All these claims seems promising, but it's not real. You can't. It's not a legit nutrients claim or health claim. It's not being regulated. Also, the 137 times antioxidants of regular green tea. Those are questionable, I would say. There's no regulation, so they can just simply put those words. How much matcha do you need to drink to get all these health benefits? No one's know. But is it illegal? No, they can claim because it is just a marketing term. The consumer will get confused all the time. They feel like this is good for my health, but actually it's not a health claim. So as a consumer, we need to be aware. The problem is, if no one talks about this, no one teaches you this, you'll never know, right, what is a legit health plan and what is not. But now you know, and be cautious of the information from the packaging. If the consumer do not believe on the front page, we have the back page. We give you the nutritional information panel and the ingredient list. As you can see, the nutritional information panel can see the energy content, protein content, fat content, and carbohydrate content. If they are making any claims regarding to this category, let's say high in protein, low in fat, or low in carb, they need to put those information on the nutrition information panel. Let's say if they're claiming low in cholesterol, under the fat, they need to have a column for cholesterol. If they claim high in calcium, they need to have another column under sodium, disclose the calcium amount they have. That's how we communicate with the consumer on the nutritional value. And on the right side, you can see the ingredient list. Aside from what we are using, we need to bold out the word that might contain the allergen. So wheat flour, they bold out the word wheat because it contains gluten, and the malt extract from the thermal extract, you don't know where is it from, so you need to have a bracket, and from barley, and the barley you need to put a bold word on that. As well as the emulsifier, it contains soy lecithin. So all this is the way how we communicate what allergen it contains to the consumer, so that they could be aware. And these are very important because it's how the food manufacturer protect themselves. What if a consumer consume your product and trigger allergic reaction? they can't blame you because you already declare that it's consumer responsibility to check the ingredient list and consume it or not. It's really consumer choice. It's not the manufacturer responsibility. So it's very important we put all the necessary information on the packaging while not overcrowded the packaging. You're not going to read a product full of words and read every single word, right? So we need to put the layout properly so that the consumer won't get confused. So here comes to an end of my presentation. The summary is, first, you need to know your customer before they know themselves. There's many unspoken words of what they want, and you need to know before you proceed with an idea of food product innovation. And secondly, you need to respond to them with a good product feature, the appropriate price, the product with right nutrition profile, with a good packaging for their convenience maybe. So that's where innovation kicks in. That's where product design kicks in. Lastly, you need to communicate with them with a eye-catching and accurate design, especially your packaging. The words, the certificate you put on your packaging must be accurate to be responsible for your company and for your customer. That's my presentation. Thank you very much, and hope that you get to learn something from my presentation. Is there any question? I'm open to it.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. He, for a compelling and highly instructive presentation. I have just learned a lot from you about food technology. So that means we need to consider more before we buy something. Because to me, as long as it is delicious and cheap, I will buy that. That's it. Okay. What a very insightful discussion, from you, sir. So now we will open the floor for questions. Please submit your questions via the Zoom Q&A feature, and I will read the questions aloud and invite Mr. He to respond. If you prefer to ask your questions verbally, you may use the raise hand feature. And for the questions posed in Indonesian, please feel free to speak Indonesian and I will translate them for the speaker. But first of all, I think I have just noticed that there is a questions. There are a number of questions right there coming from Rio Bagususilo. So he chat a lot on the chat box. Let me read this out for you, sir. So the first question goes like this. Actually, I deeply regret that the currency in Indonesia is currently decreasing. So how do you respond to that?
Regret that the currency in Indonesia is very decreasing. I'm from Malaysia and I'm living in Australia, so I have no idea how this currency things work in. Yeah.
I see, yeah. But then he continued with the further response or opinion. But then I think it's better to read his second questions. Let me help you, sir. So based on your opinion, what is the biggest misconception that students often have about product development in the food industry?
I'll say from a personal experience, your opening is like you get to taste the success all the time. But in fact, we taste the failure all the time until we success. And there's only one time. So, we try like 20, 30 formulations. It's not good enough until we get the one that we like. So people always say, oh, it's an enjoyable process where you get to enjoy all the good food, but no, you need to taste all the bad side of the food. Yeah.
I see. Well, I hope that answered the questions. And let me continue with the next questions. Let me read it out for you, sir. In an area that increasingly advanced and digitally oriented, to what extent can AI influence and shape market shifts within the food industry as well as drive the developments of innovative food products?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. As I say just now, um, people are watching reels nowadays, and people can just fake videos about anything, on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. So you don't need to even have a real person standing there speaking anymore. You can just type out random script and feed it to AI. Then you're going to reach certain customer. And people are asking ChatGPT or any generative AI about health benefits of certain things or certain diet pattern. It could be misleading sometimes, I would say, but people are no longer trusting so-called expert because sometimes expert is not as smart as uh, generative AI, right? Generative AI learns all the frontline things, but sometimes expert could be a little bit outdated. But and you can use generative AI for free. You need to pay expert certain amount of money and get a maybe outdated service. So AI is definitely going to change the market. And even in food industry, we have the how to say we can forecast using AI. So we don't need a data analyst to do the forecast anymore. We can just feed the data to AI to get uh, numbers out. But AI is not really good with numbers, to be honest. If you give the AI uh, the free version, I'm talking about the free version, if you give them the high school mathematics question, it's giving you the wrong answer almost every single time. So don't use it for your calculation and don't use it for your assignment, guys. Um, in terms of what AI can do in product development, they can come up with new flavor. They can analyze like what flavors pair well. And some of the combination is just out of your mind. Like kiwi watermelon, I believe is from AI. It's not from uh the combination that you will have on a daily basis, right? So they will do all this and we can process it faster. We can get new flavors like real faster. Mm.
Yes, so I hope that answers the questions. Before we continue, everybody, I just want to remind you of your presence. Yes. In order to confirm your attendance and receive your e-certificate, please complete the attendance form available via the link in the Zoom chat. Kindly ensure the form is submitted before the session concludes. All participants of today's webinar will also receive e-certificates recognizing their active participation in this international academic event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue reading out the next questions. Let me see. All right, we have the one derived from someone by the name of Bintang Galang. As students preparing to enter the food industry, what key skills should we focus on to adapt to rapidly changing consumer trends?
As a student, I'll break this into two, right? I feel like it will help better. If you're a student, a technology student, they will enter food industry. There's three streams that you can go into. Uh, I myself is into research and development, where I develop new formulation for the client. But uh, we don't need a lot of people like me to do the work. My team is just 3 to 4 people, but there's there's very limited opportunity, I'll say, as compared to other. The second one is um production engineer, where you go into production site, you arrange the schedule, how much to run, how much packaging to order, and things like that. Production engineer is a good earning position. And last is QA QC. Need to learn about food safety, how to conduct food safety tests like microbe swab or some oxidation tests, things like that. So these are the three main streams that you're going to enter as a fresh food technology student. And for me particularly, I deal with a lot of consumer trends, and how we're going to adapt is through learning and communicate with the industry experts. Basically, there will be people, marketing people responsible for getting feedback for their clients, and we need to have a good communication skill to know what the clients want. Then from there, we know what is the trend. Communication.
Well,
But other than that, it's a hard skill, the skill set that you need to learn, right? As a R&D, food tech, I need to learn how to handle document properly so that things don't get messed up when they ask for halal cert. I can give you straight away. And I need to learn my culinary skill. I need to learn how to taste, how to evaluate my product properly, and how to modify my formulation in a progressive manner. Yeah, that's my skill.
well, thank you very much. I hope that answers the questions. Sorry, I just lost my connections for a while, so perhaps I missed something. Let me continue with the next questions. It goes all the way back to someone by the name of Rio Bagus Susilo. So he asked the next question. The question said, product uses trending ingredients like prebiotics or matcha. So what checks should we do to ensure the trend that matches real consumer needs, or is it just merely hype?
Okay, good question. So what does real consumer needs mean? Does it mean that this is what human body needs, the nutrient that what human body needs? If that's the case, yeah, you just need like carbohydrate, protein, fat, and things like that. You don't really need those extra things to have a healthy diet pattern. Uh, so is it just a hype? We never know. Currently, it's definitely a hype for matcha and prebiotic. Um, only times can tell. Maybe 5 years later, 10 years later, it still work. Then it is what real consumer needs. We can't tell for now. For example, 10 years ago, what's the hype? Maybe low in cholesterol, maybe gluten free, or fat free. So not every claims sustain until now, right? You you might see low cholesterol, but not many anymore. But for low fat, yeah, you can still find it nowadays. So this is how we tell in long term what's the real consumer needs.
Okay, thank you, Mr. He, for answering the questions. And I'd like to apologize that it concludes all the webinars, and we are now reaching at the end of this session. Wait for a second. Oh yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. We have decided to give a chance for someone by the name of Sayu Wiwit. Let me read out the questions. How should companies adapt their R&D strategies when consumer motivations become more personalized, such as with health-focused or functional foods?
Um, I don't think it's like very personalized. It's more like it's a niche. I would say it's a niche. So less people are looking for this, not as a broad consumer, but people are looking for that. Then we can start small. Like we don't need to produce tons and tons of those products. Maybe start from 200, 300. Then you choose the right channel. You determine where will they find this product. Maybe for generation alpha, they are on TikTok. Maybe from millennials, they look for website. Then you set up the right channel to reach out to them. Okay, we can definitely make those um products, and sometimes we want it very quick, like within uh 6 months, we want this product to be launched to reach this customer as soon as possible. So it is possible. You need to find your target audience. You need to develop the right product and the right channel to engage with them. Mm.
Yes, I hope that answers the questions. So I guess we reached to the end of this webinar. So thank you very much, Mr. He, for the insightful answers and for sharing your valuable knowledge with us throughout this engaging discussion. As a token of appreciation for his time and contribution, Universitas Sugeng Hartono is pleased to present a symbolic e-certificate of appreciation to Mr. He Wen Swok. So here's the certificate for you, sir. All right, our pleasure, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you for the certificate. Very much appreciated.
Okay, you're most welcome, sir. Before we close, let us capture this moment with a group photograph. If you're able, please turn on your camera for a brief screenshot. I'll give you some time to prepare for that. All right, so let me count it down from 3. So 3, 2, 1, smile. Again, 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, is it enough or do we need one more time? So that should be enough for now, okay? Sorry. As we draw today's program to a close, allow me to share a short reflection inspired by the spirit of innovation we have explored. The management thinker Peter Drucker famously observed, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Within food technology and nutrition, this admonition reminds us that market change is not merely observed. It is actively shaped through rigorous research, imaginative design, and purposeful innovation. On behalf of Universitas Sugeng Hartono, I extend our sincere thanks to our keynote speaker, Mr. He Wen Swok, university leadership, the organizing committee and technical team, and all participants whose engagement enriches this academic community. May the insights shared today inspire further collaboration, inquiry, and progress in your professional and scholarly endeavors. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Salam Om Santi 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 Om, Namo Buddhaya, dan salam kebajikan. See you at our next academic forum.